How's it going, guys? Tyrant here, and we're back with episode 23 of the Convoluted podcast. We're back from a little bit of a hiatus. We had a couple things we wanted to clear up, everyone on the podcast, and we're starting off a little bit strong. We're having an interview with Manny from the No Inner Monologue podcast. And normally I would have this in the intro, or not the intro, kind of like the beginning of the podcast, but I kind of really fucked it up since I was really nervous and anxious. So yeah, that's why I'm kind of doing this kind of pre-roll ahead of time, and so just to kind of give you a heads up. But you know, we're back, and we're starting off with a very interesting, and maybe we'll be doing something along these lines in the future with other people, and see how that goes. But you know, we'll still have some of our own random shenanigans. But for now, enjoy our talk with Manny.
So, they somehow lured in some exquisite guests to join them in this week's episode of the podcast. Let's see how well they'll fare with the Convoluted crew. If you could do them a favor and maybe tell a friend about the Convoluted podcast, they sure would appreciate it. My creator knows I don't. They don't market or advertise the show in any way. They rely entirely on word of mouth. Now on with the show.
Okay. And hello there, and welcome to the Convoluted podcast. And today we have a special guest joining us. From the shit, I fucked up really bad. I'm sad. My bad.
He's been drinking.
Quiet.
I've been drinking.
So we got. I got no idea.
Manny from No Inner Monologue.
Sorry,
Yeah,
man.
why couldn't he just introduce himself?
I was gonna let him introduce himself, but you know what? That's how we'll do it, because we're not that formal. So, Manny, thank you for joining us in such a very odd and, well, social way how we would introduce each other. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, I'm glad to be here. Glad to join you guys.
So we have Manny, but with us, as always, we have Big O, Juan Chow, and Red Liz with us.
Hello.
And tell us a little bit about yourself, Manny.
Well, thanks for asking. What do you guys want to know about me? Go ahead. I'm an open book.
Let's see.
So go ahead.
Okay, so I'll ask. So, tell us a little bit about your podcast and how that came around.
Oh, well, we actually, at the beginning of the year, actually late in the last year, we actually decided that, you know what, we want to do a podcast. It started off as kind of like it could be fun, it could be this, but it's really taken off for us, and we actually find that, it's really, it took off. It's a lot of fun to do it. We're still really, really small, really thing, but we like to consider ourselves, that we have a lot of fun doing it. That's what it comes down to. It's a lot of fun to do it. It's a lot of fun discussing different topics. We're just a group of friends who sit down weekly and talk about the topic of the week. Sometimes it's like the Oscars or a holiday. Sometimes the topic we really want to look into, like conspiracy theories, which was one of our not this current episode, but the one before. We're going to be doing a Disney episode on the next episode, and think of us like as a not safe for work morning drive show. That's kind of what we're going for.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, it's just the topic of the week thing. Usually it's the conspiracy theory one. That one was all me, though. I have to be honest.
Ah, so that's your bread and butter. Because I know you're on Reddit a lot.
Yeah, I am. I go on there a little too much, right? But it's fun to be on there.
What was that, Elizabeth?
I said I like conspiracy theories too.
She's our conspiracy theory buff.
Oh, nice. What's one of your favorites?
Mandela.
The Mandela effect. We covered that for a bit in our podcast. What's funny is when we were talking about it, though, Tash, one of our other co-hosts, right? She's like, I don't understand it. This is, it's kind of stupid, right? And I mean, and if you actually, anyone who doesn't know about it, like actually puts a name to it, it sounds crazy. But then when we're telling her, like the way that the example I use to people is, hey, what was the name of that genie movie with Sinbad in it, right? And she was trying to remember it in there, and I'm like, that never happened. So that's kind of how I caught her on it. Yeah, if you listen to the podcast, there's an exact moment where she's like, oh shit, that fucking makes sense. Oh, sorry, can I swear?
Yeah, you can swear whatever you want, dude. You can swear whatever you want.
Cool. Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. But there's other ones as well.
G-rated podcast.
Oh, G-rated? Oh, gee golly.
Nah, keep going.
So yeah, that's kind of that's one of my favorite as well. There's also other ones as well that I like to go through. I like a lot of fan theories. Yeah, go for it.
Did Kit Kat have a dash or it didn't?
Oh.
Okay. I've heard this one. Okay, so the Mandela effect one. My mind is telling me it has a dash.
Okay, mine too. We're on the same page. I like
Yeah. Mine one has it has a dash. What are some of the other ones out there? Kit Kat.
The Bernstein Bears.
You know what? I will fight anyone to the death. It is Bernstein Bears. It's not Bernstein. I don't remember anyone.
Who the heck knows Bernstein Bears? I don't freaking know no damn Bernstein Bears.
No one.
That comes things out like.
Things.
Oh my gosh.
That's the adult version. Baron Cumstain movie.
Okay. So, there is one big reason I wanted to talk to you and bring you onto the podcast.
Sure.
We want dirt from the rest of your cast.
Oh,
dirt on my cast?
Yeah.
I got dirt on Juan, so if you want to ask me that question, I got you.
Dirt on my cast, eh?
It's a safe place right here, man.
I know, yeah, I'm thinking. You know what? I don't have much. I legit don't have much. Because, I mean, these are... trying to think here. We're messy. They're kind of messy. There really isn't much dirt.
Man, you're too nice, Manny. You're too nice.
You know what? I am. I think I'm too nice. I'm sure there's some stuff on there. Hold on, wait. This is a good one.
I have a Santa Claus list for Juan.
Well, Manny looks. Give some out.
I don't. You know what? I'll get back to you on that. Something will come up. I'm sure something will.
All right, just pop in whenever.
Yeah, it'll just pop in whenever. I'll pop in whenever with it. Sorry, I stutter. I'm probably the worst one of the bunch.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
If you ask them this question, they'll have a ton of dirt on me.
Hey, that's kind of how it is with all of us, isn't it?
Yeah.
But no, man. So yeah, I've been listening to your guys' stuff, and it's been fun. I showed it to Juan. He was actually enjoying it, right, Juan?
Yeah.
And here's a thing that he was baffled when I told him. I told him that you were Canadian, and he did not expect that. Mostly with I would say a Spanish background.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
Shit.
Now, we were all baffled to hear of a Canadian.
Canadian Costa Rican.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. No, we record out of Mississauga, Ontario. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that place.
Nope. And until your podcast.
I
Do you know
know
Toronto? Toronto, Ontario?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like a 15-20 minute car ride on the highway.
Can you give us your exact location, pin us, or send us?
Yeah.
No,
1, 2, 3 Wait, no.
So
If you want to get an idea of what the city is like, if you go on Google Maps, just search Square One Mississauga, and just look around that whole area. That's
really
Mississauga. Yeah, that gives you an idea of what the whole city's like. Like any direction you go from there, you'll be able to you'll see exactly how Mississauga is. Mississauga is actually becoming one of the most expensive cities around in Toronto. Like besides Toronto, it's insanely expensive now.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. Like a house that 10 years ago would cost 300 grand is now like in the 900s.
Wow.
Yeah, like you can't get anything real estate wise under 700.
Wow, the cost of living, damn. I was not expecting that. Like in the States, the cost of living has been getting really bad. So hearing someone from like just slightly from our north, hearing that, wow, that's amazing.
So you said you guys are in Oregon, right?
Yeah, we're in Oregon.
Is there a trail there that I can follow?
Like, what do you mean?
You know, Oregon Trail.
Oh, God.
That's fake news, man. You get that on CNN or what?
Oh, fake news. That was the topic of last week's episode.
Yeah, so...
No, actually, I'm glad you guys brought up that fake news stuff. So, up here, I mean, it's not as bad up here, like, you know, with our politicians and all that, but everything I see on Reddit, everything I see coming out of CNN, everything I see on the internet, everyone's claiming, like, if someone doesn't like something, they say it's fake news. Like, what is the extent of that? Like, what's the reality of that for you guys over there in the States?
Juan, I'll leave this one to you. He's our fake news expert.
Everything's fake. Can't believe the Fox News, especially. Can't believe Fox.
I've heard Fox News isn't the most reliable source at times. They have a very biased opinion on things, if I'm not mistaken. Is that the word I'm looking for? Biased?
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Big time.
It's really strange, mostly because actually we were just looking at some news this afternoon, and Juan just sent us a very interesting link. We thought it was just he was sending us a picture of the Pillsbury Doughboy, and it was just and it turned out to be this kid who's legitimately trying to run for the governor of Vermont, if I'm right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's legitimately trying to become the governor of Vermont, and guess how old this kid is.
Okay, you said he's kid, and he's using the Pillsbury Doughboy. This guy is 17.
No, good guess though. He is 13. He's finishing up the 8th grade.
Well, that's terrifying.
Now here's the interesting thing we learned about while reading the article a little bit, is that apparently in Vermont there is no official like age requirement for it, so he's legitimately running. He has 2 other people, but he's running officially.
Quan, is this fake news?
No, it's real. Like, he's really trying. Like, he's serious about it.
Yeah, that's another thing, is that one, you would think, it's a kid running and it's a joke, but after reading it, this kid is actually legitimately trying. He's not some kid who's just like, oh, I'm gonna do this as a joke, but no, he has what is it, his platform and everything, so he's actually legitimately trying. I'm surprised that he's doing it, but it sounds like fake news, right?
Yeah, that totally sounds. That sounds like one of those things that years down the road you win a bar bet with. You're like, hey, I bet you that I can name the youngest person to run for governor or something. Jeez. Wow, that's pretty crazy. Hey, speaking of bars, right?
Go for it.
So the legal age up there is 21, right?
Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
in Canada 19, right?
19 in most places, 18 in Quebec.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. You know what? That baffles me. Actually, you know what? Something I should tell you about myself is I grew up in the States. I grew up in New York.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you can hear it. Juan said that. Not Juan, sorry, my fault. One of the previous people that was on there. My God, I can't believe Raul. I can't believe I forgot his name. You know who I'm talking about. You were previously on there,
Yeah.
right? He said that he heard a bit of a New York accent. I don't know. Do you guys hear anything like that?
I'm really bad with voices. I don't know. Do you hear it, Juan?
Yeah, I really don't know my accent, so.
Okay, and yeah, no problem. Because almost most Americans I speak to, they hear that on me. I'm like, what? So yeah, I always like getting that opinion because I don't think I have one.
Because since I moved here when I was like in my late years of high school, and I was from Chicago. I had a Midwestern accent, and I was told that the same thing. I don't know if it's changed since I've lived here in Oregon the last couple years, but you know, I think it's one of those things that it's your surrounding that kind of adjusts to the way you talk and stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I definitely think I have a Canadian accent, if that is even a thing.
No, when I heard you for the first time, I did not expect you to speak Spanish for the life of me.
Yeah. No, my Spanish is fairly decent. Like I grew up speaking Spanish with my family, with my parents, but my brother and sister, we don't speak Spanish to each other. We only speak English. But to my parents, we speak in Spanish.
I think that's how it is generationally. That's how we are with our parents as well. Like with the cousins and siblings, I think we mainly speak in English unless we're joking around or drunk. Then we talk Spanish.
Or you want to get around something.
Exactly. But when we're talking to our parents, it's primarily in Spanish.
Yeah.
But
do you find that like so I got this, maybe you have the same experience. So one of my good friends, right? I've known him for 20 plus years. For whatever reason, he's never taken a Spanish class in his life, but he speaks Spanish and understands Spanish perfectly. Just hanging around with me and my family. It's funny because like I know like if I ever get frustrated or annoyed, I just say whatever in Spanish and he understands it.
Well, what do you think, Juan?
It's pretty interesting. I used to have a friend, I always brought him around in my family. He would never pick it up though, the Spanish. He was really bad at it.
Yeah. But was he around a lot? Because we've had people that's like.
No, yeah, my best friend through elementary and middle school, he was always around my house. He would spend the night, and he was really bad at Spanish. Like,
interesting. So it might just be a individual thing, really.
Interesting.
Yeah. That's a good thing.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you think about. That you don't think about, but you only think about like when someone brings it up.
That's true. Like because you would. I know a few people that have grown up in like I would say Hispanic and Latin like areas, and they just pick it up because that's their surroundings. One of our friends, another host of the podcast, she grew up in Southern California, and she was primarily surrounded by Hispanics and Latin people. So, and she's Caucasian, so she picked up Spanish. She's not that great at it at the moment, but she can understand it for the most part.
Yeah, SoCal, nice. I haven't. Yep. So I've actually, it's funny you mentioned Chicago. Last time I was in the States, I was in Chicago.
Really?
I went there. Yeah, I went there on vacation, check it out and everything. Went to Wrigley Field. That's it, right?
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot smaller than it. No, you know what? I'm lying. Last place I went to in the U.S. was Boston, but before that was Chicago. And the stadium is small, but the Boston stadium is even smaller. The baseball fields.
Juan, you tell me. You're the sport experts on our team here.
Yeah, those are like the two oldest stadiums here in the States. Most popular stadiums also.
Yeah, but Boston is.
Yeah, they got the Green Monster up there, that wall.
Yeah, we did the tour. Oh my God, it's a really nice, like, historic stadium. You can smell the old in there.
Yeah, that's old. That's like 1900s, man.
Yeah,
Back when
that
Disco
is.
was starting.
Oh, yo, that place is definitely haunted by the ghost of some like old white dude.
Yeah, yeah. There used to be the
Specifically an
curse of the
old one.
Bambino.
Oh yeah, that was explained, the whole Babe Ruth thing. But
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know, are you guys superstitious? You guys believe in like ghosts, paranormal activity, stuff like that?
Dude, we're Hispanic. We're supposed to believe in that stuff.
Yeah, that's true. That is
Did you did you
100%.
did your mother have like witchcraft around her, like incense and stuff around?
No, my mom and dad are the opposite to that. My aunts and uncles, 100% into that stuff. Like ojo malo, bad eye. I mean, it translates out bad. Did you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
right.
That one. Yeah.
Yeah. So they had like they do that, but like my parents, they're very like they're always there's a logical explanation type for everything. Right? They're so against that stuff. Like we've had some weird paranormal incidents that's back in the day, like where. Do you guys want to hear a cool story?
Go for it, man. Go for it.
So we as a family traveled to Peru. That's where my parents are from, right? Like I was born in Costa Rica. We traveled to Peru on vacation. When we're there, one of my dad's friends, or my mom's friends, I can't remember, goes up to him and they're like, "Hey, take this as a souvenir. We actually got this from Machu Picchu, and it's like this old vase. It's like a few hundred years old, right?" And we're like, "Oh, okay." We're like, "Cool." We take it back, and like within a month, like the worst, we get hit with the worst luck possible. Like my mom ended up getting cataract in her eye, and then when that healed, she got cataract in her second eye. My dad lost his job, then he lost his side job. The car just kept breaking down. Random shit kept disappearing. My brother's grades just dropped. I ended up getting sick. Just the worst luck possible. We were talking to my grandmother one day about it, asking her, hey, can you help us out with some money? My grandma's like, yeah, sure. And then my mom jokingly said, man, maybe we should sell one of those statues, right? My grandma was just like, what do you mean? What statues? You have them? We've been looking for them. They're not supposed to leave the country. They're not even supposed to leave, its home soil. Send them back. We're like, okay. And we send them back. And within like 2 weeks, everything picked up again for us.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was absolutely bonkers. It was like one of those things like that's what kind of made me start believing into kind of like the supernatural and stuff like that. But I'm not too crazy of like I won't like if I see something, if I hear like footsteps upstairs, I'll be like, that's the pipes. I'm that type of guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
But,
yeah,
but when you get that much string of events, it's just hard to like not think about it. It's really baffling and interesting, actually.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like we even had another one where like one that actually forced my parents to quit their job. It was like a night cleaning job, and it was at a restaurant, famous steak restaurant. But like just really weird shit was happening all the time. Like over the course of 3 years, like my dad got locked in a freezer. My uncle had to take cover because knives were starting to fall from like how in a kitchen like the chefs have their knives hanging up. Yeah, so that shit just started falling on my uncle. Chairs were thrown at my mom. The TVs would turn on and off. Fucking like bar stools would keep falling off the bar, and like they just had to quit because shit got way too weird.
That is wow. It's like there's a mini curse on your family that just lingers, man.
Yeah, it was that restaurant. It was
but wow.
Yeah. So tell me, what do you guys have? Like, what's your what are your parents' superstitions?
Let's see here. I think kind of the common stuff. We have like the basic rituals where you're supposed to rub a baby's like I think it's like you rub a sick baby with an egg and you put it in water. Is that right, Juan?
No, I think you're just supposed to raw egg and then just rub it against your forehead to get like the bad spirits out of you or whatever.
We have that, and then we have like the one that wards off bad spirits from the house, where you're supposed to chant and put incense, and there's these decorative like, I would say charms. I would call them charms, and you would put them on your doorway to make sure nothing comes in or out, or come in at least.
Yeah.
But we have that.
I know what you're talking about.
But yeah, the second we moved out, my mother came over to the house and made sure she did that before we did anything else.
Oh.
So the house for the first few days smelled like incense.
I don't mind the smell of incense.
That's true. When you grow up around it, it becomes like just a memory, like anything. Like, oh, yeah, I remember this. But for other people, it's like, what is that? So there was something you wanted to talk about, right? Let's see here.
There was actually. So I saw that on your channel. You said that you watched some anime, right?
Yeah. Like what kind of anime? Because when people talk about anime, you would kind of go with the what common people watch, like DBZ, like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh, things that like everyone has seen, like Sailor Moon, things like that. What did you want to talk about?
So literally, maybe just like 2 hours ago, I finished watching this one on Netflix, Devilman Crybaby.
Oh yeah, I did a reaction to that. I didn't finish it on my channel, but I did finish watching it.
What'd you think?
It is bonkers. I told Juan to watch it because it's the story for that is like, so for anyone out there listening, so Devilman Crybaby is based off an old comic called Devilman, and the concept's the same. The overall concept for Devilman is the same. It's this human who gets possessed by a devil, but he overcomes it, and then he becomes a devil man, half human, half devil, and he has the powers of the devil, and he kind of fights off demons. And the way this Netflix series does it, it's the artwork is like very distinctive. It's very different, and I like that because it felt like kind of some of the like late 80s comics. It just felt different, like what's the best way to describe it? Psychedelic, I would say. Wouldn't you agree?
I totally agree with you. It's visually it's enthralling, like storyline is enthralling. Everything about it was, I couldn't stop watching it. Like even the intro of it, that like house beats thing, I guess you want to call it that, right? Even the intro was fucking fantastic. What got me about that show was that fucking dark episode 9, like where shit just goes to, where everything just goes to hell in episode 9.
So yeah, I'm trying to remember a little bit. I'm gonna try to pull up a little bit, but
so episode 10 was the finale. Episode 9 is, I don't want to spoil anything if anyone's not watched it.
Okay, ready? We're gonna spoilers from this point, and then I'll let you guys know when you come back. Continue.
Everyone dies.
Yeah, everyone dies.
Miko, those two rapper guys die. Fucking everyone just fucking gets it, but they don't just die. Like at that ending scene where they're just like parading their mutilated corpses in front of the fire, right? Like I don't know what it is. That fucking scene stuck with me. It stuck 100%. Watching it, I'm like, holy fucking shit. So I'm like, I didn't expect this. This is not what I expect. Like I've watched some like, you know, darker anime before. Can't think of any right now, but like this one was up there.
So the way the show progressed, it was like kind of smooth. I don't know, Juan, I really recommend you watch this when you get a chance because the show progresses slowly like your average show would. Character introductions, getting to know everyone, little plots, the back plots of everything, and then right around 7 and 8, things just hit the fan. Like shit really hits the fan hard. People start getting murdered. People are getting raped. Like crazy shit are happening.
Yeah,
families are killing family. mothers are killing children.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous. And then at the end, it's just like it's not this happy ending, and I like that. It's not your like ta-da, it's concluded. It's shit. That's how it ends.
Yeah. It's bonkers. Yeah, Juan, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, I strongly give it a recommendation to watch it. It's
Yeah, it's not
something that-
one of my suggestions.
it's
So
up
yeah,
there.
at least you know kind of what you're gonna get into.
Yeah, like, do you remember the Marvel X-Men? Like the Marvel anime, sorry?
Yeah,
They had X-Men, they had Wolverine, Iron Man.
the one that goes do-do-do-do-do-do.
No, that's the 90s one.
Oh, which one are you talking about?
There's an X-Men anime, I think. Right? Where the main character, were like the I guess the one of the new X-Men they introduced, she's got like a psychic robo suit, I guess the best way to describe it.
See here.
Right? If you haven't watched any of those, they're great.
See here, X-Men anime. Look this up really quick. Huh. I know they I forget one company that Japanese company got the rights to do the new Batman Ninja. Did you see that?
I saw the trailer for it. I'm waiting for that. I'm eagerly waiting for that.
And oh, I see it. Okay, that's cool looking. I like how they did the artwork for that.
Yeah, it's all the Marvel animes are pretty damn good.
Well, I like the one thing I enjoy about watching animes is their art style. It's so different, and depending on who you're watching it and who it's originated from, and that can be said with any animated series from even the Western side.
Yeah. Oh, have you ever been to Japan?
I want to one day.
Dude, you gotta go. I spent a few weeks in Japan. Japan is amazing.
Well,
Japan is a whole other world.
I can imagine. I've done my research to go to Japan, and luckily, I can avoid saying I'm American when I'm over there because of all the controversy that's been happening.
So the nice thing about Japan is it makes things so here. It's how do I describe Japan? It's hard. It's, you know what? Describing Japan is whatever I say it. I will not do it justice. Right?
Okay.
Japan, just from riding the subways in Tokyo, just going all around, how busy it is. It's a really nice, organized chaos.
That's an interesting way to put it.
Yeah, Japan is nice. I mean, I traveled through Southeast Asia for a while. Right, I worked in Southeast Asia for about 6 months last year. In the Philippines.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a whole like. One thing I tell people is you got to get out there and you got to experience the world. Like there's so much more out there in the world, and it's so like different cultures living it out. It's amazing.
Oh, getting some outside experience will help us. I'm not gonna lie. We're kind of like hermits. I would not lie. I don't know if Juan would beg to differ, but.
How about you? Is Liz still there?
They went to grab some food, so that's why no one else has been talking. But it's just me. It's me and Juan right now.
Nice. But yeah. What do you mean by hermits? Like you just kind of just.
Well, we just kind of at the moment we're just kind of getting our life together a little bit, getting things situated. We're kind of in our, I would say, late 20s, and we're just trying to get things figured out. Like any reasonable adult, I would say.
Hey man, I'm in my mid 30s, and I'll tell you this right now. Life is because it's changed. The idea of things have changed. Like I brought this up the other day in our podcast. So by the way, the name of our podcast is No Inner Monologue. If for anyone listening, that's my cheap plug, by the way.
Don't worry. Well, I'll give you a whole list at the end and in the beginning. Yes. We'll get it all set.
Yeah. So what we actually do over there is because we're all around the same age, and you just recently had your birthday, right? Yesterday.
I remember right. Yeah, I remember. Yesterday. I heard it. So yeah, happy belated birthday.
Thank you. Yeah. Would you agree with this sentiment? We had an analog childhood and a digital adulthood.
I remember you said this to.
Raul, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'll let Juan answer this.
Yeah, I believe that nowadays. Yeah, because my little sister, she's telling me she goes to school, she doesn't carry books, she carries a laptop. I was like, what? I was like, that's crazy.
What?
Hey, Manny,
Yeah.
Manny's baffled by
What I
this.
said.
What do you mean? Wait, hold on. What do you mean she just carries a laptop? There's no books?
Yeah, apparently not. Apparently they don't need to have books. Like if they need a book, they'll go to the library, but they don't need to carry a math book or a science book. They just carry a laptop and just Google everything. Everything's on there.
What the?
Yeah,
Well,
that's what
okay,
I
yeah,
said.
I get that. I get that. Everything would be out there, but I mean, you still gotta look in books, man.
Apparently not. They're all assigned a laptop and they keep it the whole year. And that's where they get their homework, their assignments and everything. If they need to look anything up, they just use their laptops. And I was like, wow, really?
Okay, that is odd.
Yeah,
don't
that's
think-
what I said.
I can't. Damn, that's mind-boggling, man. That's not right. That ain't
Like,
right.
That's what I
at
said.
all.
You're like messing with Manny. He's like, what? No more books? No school?
You're right. You carry a backpack, had like 3 giant books in there. Your back would hurt every day.
Oh
Carrying all
yeah,
those-
everything would hurt carrying it.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, you guys
But-
still there?
No, we're here.
Okay, yeah, it broke up. Juan broke up there for a sec.
No, I'm still here.
Okay. Yeah, those were the days, man. You needed a bigger backpack because your books would be so heavy. It felt like you were carrying like a pile of rocks on your back.
Yeah, exactly.
Kids need to know that pain.
Like we remember the pain that we suffered through, just lugging like 2-3 pounds of book in our backs. Now,
Yeah, exactly.
And so, are you taking any schooling out there? Because I'm assuming you moved up to Oregon. Are you there for school, or are you just new opportunity?
so I've recently. Oh well, I've been working, but I recently finished I have 2 associates. One in what is it? Software development and system administration, and I was halfway done with my cybersecurity when my school shut down. I don't know if you heard about the whole ITT tech shit that happened a couple of years back.
I heard something about that. What happened?
So I know Juan's heard me complain about this, but
I'm a whole fresh set of ears to come to.
so it was it's about a year or 2 years now. ITT and a lot of schools that were like kind of, I would say, private schools that were making money off loans and stuff like that. They were getting the way to pay their instructors and everything. The government stopped issuing government loans to any of these technical private schools, so they couldn't get funding. So there was no way to get funding unless through private, like bank loans, and no one was going to do that. So because a lot of these schools were, like, I would say at least 60-70% of their earnings was coming from government loans. They were not going to do it anymore. They just couldn't support that, and they had to close down everything.
That's terrible.
Yeah, I knew a lot of people that they only needed one more term, and they would have had their degree. But because it closed down the time it did, they lost everything. And a lot of like official 4-year schools won't take the credits you would get from a trade school, and it's kind of like wasted time.
Well, I'm sorry, dude. That's pure bullshit.
Yeah, it sucks at the moment. Like, I would like to be working in my career in my field, but hunting for a job at the moment, no job will, like, no, every job I've been trying to apply to would just barely offer me minimum wage, and I can't. Like any sensible adult out there can barely survive on minimum wage, and like it's not right.
I hear you.
And there I do have a pay cut limit where I was like, okay, I can survive at this point, and I would be willing to start working in that field, but no job has gone just to that limit, and it's been very frustrating. So I just been working at the job I've been working at for the last couple years, and just kind of doing this YouTube stuff as of recently.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what, man, nothing but the best of luck to you, and I hope you find something for yourself there. Man, you don't mind me asking, and by all means, feel free to tell me to fuck off, but what is minimum wage over there in Oregon?
Shoot, what was it, Juan? We looked it up the other day.
I think it was like 11 something.
Like,
Wasn't it?
let's say 11.50. Let's just say that we're being generous. So 11.50. It's 11.50.
Yeah, nice. Because in Ontario here, we recently raised it to $14 an hour.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
I'll be.
Damn.
So like a McDonald's cook makes $14 an hour here.
What?
Yeah, in Ontario.
Look at that, Juan. Look at that. Yeah, it's ridiculous. No, it's what's weird. We had this conversation about wages and cost of living just a couple episodes ago, because we have a friend who is a single mom, and she's kind of juggling everything, and she's finally gotten something set together, but it's kind of hard to say because I read an article, I'm gonna say it now, 3 years ago, that says that America used to be, you know, trying to live the American dream, the 4-bedroom house, the mom, dad, 2 kids, a pet, that used to be the American dream, but no one can afford that, even if both parents are working during that day and age. So that was what, 2015 that article was talking about. Now in 2015, if both parents were working, they couldn't live the American dream. Like, and jump now 3 years later, like, a lot of people we know are working 2, almost 3 jobs just to support themselves, their family, and it's like, God, really? Are we at this point?
We are, and that's all over the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean that, all over the fucking world. I mean, it's hard to come across a single income family, because it's very difficult to even manage that. And I mean, like here in Canada, okay, so in here in Canada, you can theoretically get away with some stuff because, as you know, we do have, I guess you can say, benefits, right?
Yeah.
You know about the benefits Canada has, right?
You can explain for the people listening.
So we have like a lot of government assisted programs, like, you know, welfare, childcare, but the biggest one that a lot of people know about is healthcare, right? Like we have a universal healthcare system here.
Mm-hmm.
So to put it to you into perspective, right? But a month ago, I tore my Achilles heel.
Ooh.
Right? Yeah, fucking sucks. I'm still in one of those flexi caster boots. It sucks, man. I don't wish any type of this to anyone.
Dude, that's rough, man. Hard to hear that. But keep going, man.
So, like, all I do is I went to the hospital, right? In the hospital, they just took my government health card, and I just went in. They set me up with a cast. I had an ultrasound done. I had X-rays done, all that stuff, and not a penny of it was at my cost.
Fuck, that would be. That sounds nice.
Yeah, and like health and like medicine wise, like I have benefits to my work, right? But if I didn't have them, you could get your prescription pills at like an 80 or 90% discount, something like that. Yeah, so it's something crazy like that. So
Damn.
So we pay it. We pay a lot in taxes. Like almost 28% of my pay goes to taxes.
Okay, yeah, that's okay. Because we kind of we kind of did the math because we always kind of do things where we're wondering where our pay is going to be at, and I think we averaged out at for our pay in Oregon. I think we gauged about 17% on taxes when we had our final like net income. It's 17% gets taken off, so an extra 10% for healthcare doesn't sound that bad. But you know, that's us just saying we're just kind of just your average day people. But because there's been a lot of talk, and I don't want to get too deep into the political hole of they need to fix healthcare. But I know that Trump did something recently with healthcare. Juan's our Trump aficionado here. Follows him on Twitter and everything.
Are you? You know what? Should I ask if he's pro or con Trump?
You can ask him. Go for it.
I'm undecided. I'm undecided.
So
sometimes he sounds like he knows what he's saying, but then other times he's just off. I don't know what he's doing.
You know, this is what. You know what? I don't have an opinion on Trump. Like, I mean, I'm Canadian here, right? I don't have like everyone. You know what I'm trying to say, right? I legitimately don't have a stake in this. But from what I know of Trump and what I've heard is that it just sounds to me like he has a bunch of shitty advisors and shitty yes men on his side.
And that doesn't help either.
Yeah, that's legit what I think that happens. That's why he calls I could see why he calls everything fake news, right? If a poll comes out on CNN, and I was just using CNN here, right? Poll comes out and it says, presidential, approval rating is at 40%, right? Some slimy yes man is going to say that's fake news. You're at 62%. Trump is going to listen to his yes man and be like, well, I'm at 62%. This is fake, right? But the reality of it is he could be at 45.
Yeah.
Right. Because I don't trust, those news networks either, right? Like they themselves, everyone has an agenda. They'll report on certain things, right? I mean, that's why you got to go with, go right to the source on Reuters, the Associated Press, things like that. That's the best way to actually do it. But yeah, I just think that's the biggest problem that he has, and it's starting to show. That's like a bunch of people are leaving, like a bunch of his original cabinet is leaving his side.
Yeah,
and
getting fired.
Or getting fired, exactly, right? And like I said, it's a bunch of shitty yes men on his side who are just either giving him bad, because the dude has no political experience, right? So he relies on people he trusts, right? But if those people he trusts, if they have a hidden agenda, they're gonna aim it towards their agenda, giving him advice, right? You know what I'm saying? So I think that it's a mix of two. I also think it's a mix of ego as well. Like, he definitely does have an ego, and he needs to put that in check, and and also he needs to kind of admit that I have some shitty people on my side.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. That's my take on it.
Yeah.
Okay, that was very provocative. But
I'm sure you've heard stuff about our prime minister.
No, I've heard good things about that guy, dude. He sounds like amazing.
You know what? He is okay. He's okay at everything. But
remember who we're comparing it to right now at the moment?
That's not fair. That's not fair.
That's why
he's you know what? He's all right. He's all right. Let's just leave it at that. Because you're always gonna find someone that is gonna oppose people. Yeah, a lot of people criticize him that he's really soft on immigration. Like, extremely soft, to the point where it's kind of disheartening.
Okay, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, a lot of people are they feel disheartened towards him because he caves into a lot of pressure.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Fun. There you go. Now you got to start following you. What's the guy's name?
Trudeau. Justin Trudeau.
There you go. Start
Start
following him now. We gotta have more. We gotta get international with this stuff, or at least go to the north. Start learning.
You guys ever get a chance? Go check out Canada. What's the nearest province you guys are close to?
What's north of Washington?
Vancouver, is that British Columbia?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
British Columbia is the closest thing we can get to.
Check it out. British Columbia is absolutely beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
Vancouver.
we're gonna we'll plan a trip. That's something we want to do, is kind of get out. Like you said, it's something that people need to experience. It's a little bit of travel and like worldly experience under their belt.
Yeah, it's you got to get out there, right? That's the best way to describe it. All right, so tell me something about yourself.
Okay, you know a little bit about me. Go, Juan.
I'll throw you a question, okay?
All right,
Yeah,
Juan,
you
you're
guys
first to answer this. Go for it.
Okay.
All right. Transformers, the original '80s series, okay? Do you know which one I'm talking about?
Actually, I never watched the '80s series.
No.
The cartoons, yes, I watched them.
Okay. Is that considered anime?
Depends on who developed it. I don't think it is. I think it's American cartoons for the most part, because for the most part anything developed in Japan is considered anime, even though anime is like a short form of animation. And no, it is not considered anime. I just looked it up.
Nice.
So yeah, it's traditional. Oh shit, scared me. It's considered traditional cartoons.
Nice.
Continue.
So Juan, go ahead. You can ask me a question. Anything you want to know. Open book.
Okay. Are you gonna ask him that?
No, I'm not gonna ask him that.
What do you guys want to ask?